after 1 year, about little over 1 year in the Mahani Development Board, I joined the Sri Lanka Railway Department. Now, this Sri Lanka Railway Department is unlike other state sector corporations, it's a department. And I think Engineer Tilak Silva specifically reference in the organization structure in the department, because now the department comes directly under the ministry. Now, in case of railway department, it came under the Ministry of Transport. So the Ministry of Transport has a minister as well as a secretary transport. Now, the General Manager Railways is the head of the Sri Lanka Railway Department, and he gets instructions of various policy decisions taken by the government and the ministry to be implemented in the railway. So these are things that then he passes it on down the line. If it is civil side, he passes it on to the civil section. If it is a mechanical side, he passes it on mechanical side. If it is signal issue, it passes it on signal side. And if it's operating issue, it's passing operating. It's a commercial side. There are so many sub-departments in the railway. There are close upon 7 or 8 sub-departments, and there's a workforce of about close upon 20,000 workers working, labor working in the railway. And so general manager has a very big responsibility in carrying out duties of the railway. Now, during this time, soon after I joined the railway, I was interested with construction of a parachute-type water tower. That was in 1978. Yeah, I have actually not learned anything about this cell theory in the university, because it was a new thing. So my chief engineer called me and told me that, there's a water shortage in the general manager's office. So we had to put up a tower type water tank, and I want it in this particular manner. So it was a parachute type thing, not a normally inch type water tank. It's a parachute type water tank. So I have actually seen the inch type water tank, which was being done by State Engineering Corporation at that time, but not the parachute type water tank. So I could have easily told I have not learned in the university, or I have not seen this parachute type water tank being constructed in Sri Lanka. So, but yet then I didn't tell him that. But I had some friends, my seniors who were working at State Engineering Corporation. I told my chief engineer that I had to go to State Engineering Corporation and get few things straightened out with those engineers. And then he told me, okay, you do that. Then in fact, I went to State Engineering Corporation and got all the information about this water tanks. Then about they were doing the inch type water tank. So anyway, it was not very difficult to do a parachute type water tank from the inch type water tank. That was a challenge, all right. And that is also from what I have actually the first principles that I know in engineering designs. So I designed a parachute type water tank. So then after about the following after about 8-9 months, some new engineers joined Sri Lanka Railways, having studied the shell theory. And then this by design was checked by one of those engineers, and he told everything is okay, that we could go on construction. So now this is the type I just want to emphasize that for you also. I mean, just because you have not done anything, you have not studied anything in the university, that doesn't mean that by using that particular knowledge, you should be able to do various things, right? So always you should try to do something new, that is called ingenuity, originality. For the sake of the country. Then that is one thing. Then in fact, I was taken to railway because there was a problem in the upcountry line, tunnel number 18. Actually, I have written a paper on this to the Institute of Engineers, Sri Lanka. It is there in 1975 annual sessions. I have read a paper in the annual sessions, and this is with regard to a tunnel which collapsed in 1951. 1951, and for 30 years it was actually not repaired permanently. It was only a temporary repair was done, and there were issues with the tunnel because when a person puts his head out, he head used to bang against a rail arch which was there, and there were so many people who died while traveling in the train inside the tunnel, if they had put their heads out. And of course, there were some sleepers put on. Sleepers means the sleepers which are put on the railway track. No, now then some sleepers are put on these rail arches to prevent the. There was a hole there was a cavity to sort of cover the cavity from where the earth was coming, and these sleepers were also getting perished because about 25 years had passed by. I mean, no permanent repair has been done. So actually, then when I came to railway, I was interested with this job. So actually, I had to I had to consult my professor. You all will be knowing Professor Dayanta Vijayasekara, who Emeritus Professor Dayanta Vijayasekara, who was Vice Chancellor of Morocco University earlier, and of course, same time my father, who was also retired at that time, he was also additional general manager technical of Sri Lanka Railways. I consulted both of them, and I actually developed a concrete arch system for this particular tunnel. And then with certain ingenuity, we using front end loaders and various things inside the tunnel, we managed to put the arches in place. And now from 1981, I did this reply in 1981 up to now 42 years have gone, 41 years have gone, no problem with the tunnel. And actually at that time, some foreigners from the Asian Development Bank came and told that this repair would cost Sri Lanka rupees about 10 million. 10 million Sri Lanka rupees, nothing very much, a small amount at that time. But actually, I did it for 200,000 Sri Lanka rupees, 200,000. So this, how much money that we saved for Sri Lanka. Look how much money. And of course, I didn't fail to give a commendation to all the people who were working there. That is one other thing that I want to tell you. If you think that your subordinates have done a good job for you, please commend them. That is also part of the ethics. Then also same time, there was a curve at Rosella in the upcountry line where they had to screw the curve, and sort of there were after an earth slip, and there was a difficulty in locomotives which is going up country, especially in the gradient. In the upgradient, they were difficulty in pulling them up due to especially during rainy time, because locomotives were sleeping because the curve was very sharp. And therefore, at that time, in 1999, I again restored the curve back to the original form and allowed at normal speed. So permanent speed restriction, which was there at that time, was removed, and it was allowed to go at normal speed. So while working in the railway, there were times that there were derailments. So we had to look after the safety of the machinery, safety of people, and then see that the earth which is fallen on the track is taken out, and try to give the railway service as soon as possible. So this is which are very, very arduous, but I enjoyed to a certain extent that kind of work. And you won't believe, especially unlike today, I mean, I have my telephone at home was on my bedside. That's that's the kind of commitment and dedication I was working. So sometimes at 12 midnight, I get a call from the control office saying that there's a derailment or there's a slip and a wash away. So immediately I had to get down the vehicle and go to the particular site. So I mean, I think today those things don't happen that way, but yet then you must know that if you are going to work with commitment and dedication, this is how you work with commitment and dedication. Right.